Hello everyone. My name is Ayush Yadav and I'm a second year PGP student at IIM Ahmedabad. I did my summer internship at Tata Administrative Services. In this video, I will be explaining the process of the task chairperson GD to you. So this is the agenda of the video. First, I'll explain the format of the GD. Then I'll help you understand the rounds, that what exactly are you supposed to do in each of the rounds. And then I'll end with some tips. So let's begin with the format of the GD. So the GD will have 7 to 8 participants and the number of rounds will be equal to the number of participants. There will be a new chairperson selected every round and every single person will get a chance to be the chairperson exactly once. The others who are not the chairperson will simply be board members or senior company executives unless it is specified explicitly in the case. The score weightage for when you are the chairperson is greater than all your other rounds. So it is important that you nail your chairperson round. And in every single round, the case may cover a new domain. So the first case you might be on marketing, the next one might be on operations, the third may be on strategy and so on. So the domains of the cases tend to vary a lot. Now let's understand what you have to do in each of the rounds. So for ease of understanding, I have broken down each round into 4 stages. Stage 0 is the problem reveal stage. Stage 1 is the chairperson expectation stage. Stage 2 is the discussion stage. And stage 3 is the conclusion stage. So this is how the time limits are actually allocated. So in stage 0, this is the problem reveal. This is done by the task team and the timer is not started at this point. As soon as the problem reveal has been done, the timer will start and stage 1 will begin. So this is the chairperson expectation stage and this will last for 1 minute. After this, we'll have stage 2 where the discussion will happen. This is for 5 minutes. And lastly, we have stage 3, the conclusion stage, which lasts for 1 minute. So this 1 plus 5 plus 1 timing split, which I've mentioned over here, this tends to vary a lot from year to year. So for my year, it was 1 plus 5 plus 1. But for your year, it might be 1 plus 6 plus 1 or 1 plus 4 plus 1, as it tends to change quite often. And it is the chairperson's responsibility to keep a track of the time. You have to ensure that one stage ends on time and the next one begins on time. Let's look at stage 0, which is the problem reveal stage. First, the task team will ask for a volunteer to be the next chairperson. After the chairperson has been selected, the moderators will read out the case to you exactly twice. All participants must note down the case or only the important parts if you want in this stage. It is important to listen carefully as the case is read out only 2 times and it is not given to you in writing. The timer of 7 minutes will start only after the case has been read out twice. It is important to note that the case you get will always be a surprise. So the chairperson will never know what case they are going to get. After this, the timer starts, stage 1 begins. So here the chairperson explains the problem statement and lays down the expectations from the discussion. If there is a structure or a framework which you want the discussion to follow, it is the time to lay it down right now. Board members simply have to listen and start thinking about their points. They do not have to speak in this stage. So there is an upper limit of 1 minute for this stage, but the chairperson can end a little early and add more time to the discussion. So if you want to spend about 45 seconds to 50 seconds on this stage, it is completely acceptable. After the expectations have been laid out in the first 1 minute, we begin with the discussion. So the discussion goes on for 5 minutes. The discussion should be done in a civil manner as if you were in a real boardroom. So it is important that you don't create a fish market. The chairperson will stay quiet in this stage, but they can intervene if they want to. So I have listed down 3 scenarios in which I feel it is okay to intervene. So if you feel that the discussion is going out of track, it is losing focus. So then you can bring the discussion back to the problem if it is going completely on a tangent. You can also intervene to ask those who haven't spoken yet for their opinions. So if you feel a person has not been getting the chance to speak, it is okay to intervene and ask that person to speak. You can also intervene to explore an idea in greater detail if it appeals to the chairperson. After the discussion of 5 minutes is over, stage 3 begins. In this stage, the chairperson thanks the team and summarizes the ideas explored by the team. The chairperson chooses the final plan of action and the decision which they are going to take. Board members have no role to play in this stage. The round ends after this and a new chairperson is selected for the next round. So now let's look at some tips. Starting with tips for the chairperson. As a chairperson, you should keep a track of the time because each stage's timing is your responsibility. You should keep the discussion focused on the problem and intervene if necessary. Try to guide your team towards a conclusion or consensus by the end of the discussion so that you can include it in your summary. And a reminder that the chairperson round has a higher score weightage for you than your other rounds. So it is important that you nail this round. Moving on to tips for the board members. As a board member, you should keep the discussion civil and allow others to speak as well. Avoid interrupting others. Do not go on a tangent from the topic. Speak only if your point adds value to the discussion. It is fine to speak less in 1 or 2 rounds, but try to make relevant points in every single round. Quality of inputs is much more important than the quantity of inputs. Keep points concise because the discussion window is very short. It is only 5 minutes long. Do not globe to increase the speaking time. There are no points for talking the most. Gravitating towards a conclusion or consensus as a team is desirable. And now we have tips which can be applied to everyone. So remember the 5 Tata Group values, which are integrity, unity, pioneering, excellence, and responsibility. So if you're able to depict these 5 values through your solutions, it would be very beneficial for you. You should also stay calm and confident because it's a long process. You should not give up after a bad round because there is always the chance to make a comeback. You don't have to be an expert in all domains to clear the GD. As long as your point is relevant and adds value, you're good to speak it out. Think of all stakeholders when you give your solutions so that your solution is more of a win-win solution. If a relevant idea has not been explored, put it forward, unless the chairperson has already decided what they want to focus on and your idea is not relevant to that. Think of all angles if the question is open-ended. The PESTLE framework is very handy in such situations. Writing down points so you don't forget them is recommended. Moreover, giving lots of mock GDs will help you feel more confident before the actual process. That is all from my side. Thank you.